is NTV.
And you're just in time for NTV at One, your most comprehensive update of news making headlines both locally and internationally. Welcome, I am Julian Amboko. The Ministry of Transport was today hard-pressed to explain how a section of the Jack Ma donation went missing during transportation of medical supplies from Ethiopia. Appearing before the National Assembly's Health Committee probing utilization of COVID-19 funds, Transport CAS Chris Obore said the ministry's mandate was capped at clearance of goods at the JKIA. The suspended KEMSA officials alongside KEMSA are currently answering questions on how the agency surpassed the allocated target through irregular procurement. Let's listen in to the proceedings rather.
The expenditure of the 7 billion. We really want to know clearly. Did the board authorizes the over expenditure, or it was just the work of the CEO? Secondly, Chair, we would also like to know the criteria which you use to identify companies who supplied you with COVID items. Thirdly, Chair, I want to ask the CEO, what was your relationship with these companies? DK Relief, Dominion, Suppliers, Everywhere Distributors, Comtel, Kenya Limited, Makerscope Healthcare, Shop and Buy Limited. Again, Chair, I would like to know from the CEO, why was there favorism in terms of payment? There are companies who were paid immediately as they supplied goods, and there are those who they have not even been paid up to now. Another question, Chair, to the CEO and the Finance Director, KEMSA, how much money did you or have you received from Treasury directly, not from the Ministry of Health? Are there any monies you received directly from the Treasury? And then, Chair, there's this thing I don't understand from the Procurement Department, this thing of negotiation.
And our very own Zainab Ismail is at the Parliament buildings following up on this development and will give us a more comprehensive update later in the day. But staying with matters COVID-19, 2 members of Parliament from Kirinyaga County have called for the resignation of top Ministry of Health officials to pave way for investigations regarding the alleged loss of COVID-19 funds. The ministry is under parliamentary investigation into the alleged loss of over 40 million shillings and improper use of procurement laws in the purchase of personal protective equipment.
Kama umetajwa kukiwa na mambo ya ufisadi kwa wizara yako ama kwa ofisi yako, unakaa kando, tunachunguza, unachunguzwa, kama hauna hatia unarudi.
Kwamba by next week ama kesho ikiwezekana watu wapelekwe kotini. DPP tunaonanga, tunasema kila sasa tunasema watu wanaonewa. Saa hii tungependa tuseme hatutaki kusema watu wanaonewa, tunataka kuona action ikifanyika.
Staying with the health sector, the Ministry of Health has today launched a malaria multiple first-line therapy which seeks to identify a stronger drug that can control the disease. The program was launched in Homa Bay County by Health Chief Administrative Secretary Rashid Amani and Acting Director General for the Health, Patrick Amoth. Homa Bay will be used as a test county for the study, while Migori will be used as a control county. Oko Kusanao joins us live from Homa Bay with the latest details. Oko, what's developing on that side?
Well, Julian, as you mentioned there, that particular launch happened this morning at the governor's office, that is Governor Cyprian Awiti of Homa Bay County. And of course, this particular initiative is expected to go a long way in boosting the fight against malaria, which has been identified as one of the leading causes of death here in Homa Bay County. We are talking of about 26% prevalence rate. And of course, that is something to worry about. A lot of activities too have been lined up for today. As we speak now, the ministry officials are supposed to be conducting some inspection tours of the isolation facilities here in Homa Bay County. We are talking of about 8. And of course, the county government also says that they have increased their bed capacity to 300. Incidentally, this today's inspection tour by the ministry officials regarding COVID-19 level of preparedness here in the county is happening at a time when health workers resumed their duties today, this morning, actually, after a 1-month strike. Remember, they downed their tools almost a month ago, demanding a lot of issues, pay, delayed salaries and stuff like that. And actually, that also occasioned the postponement. This particular inspection tour could have happened last month when Mutai Kagwe, that is the CS for Health, was doing a regional inspection tours of facilities here in Western Kenya. But Homa Bay was skipped due to that particular strike. And therefore, today we are seeing Dr. Amoth and that is Rashid Amani there leading high-level top officials from the Ministry of Health to conduct this particular inspection tour. Here in Homa Bay, we are looking at a situation where last week, around August 27th, 15 inmates at the Homa Bay GK prisons tested positive. And of course, that, as we expect, caused a lot of heat here mostly because it happened at a time when the health workers had downed their tools. So we expect that the daily updates of Corona will be happening right here behind me. We're looking at around maybe in an hour's time, we expect to see the CAS, that is Rashid Amani, and of course Dr. Amoth, to give us the country update of the Corona situation in the country. We are looking at yesterday's statistics of 178 new infections and 581 deaths. And of course, so we expect that those numbers are likely to go up today. So we'll be here to keep our viewers updated on the ongoings. Back to you, Julius.
Many thanks, Oko Kusa in Homa Bay. And of course, as he said, he'll be keeping tabs there regarding the COVID-19 statistics for the last 24 hours. Elsewhere, Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa has urged senators to end their wrangles in a bid to end the cash crunch affecting counties. Meanwhile, his water counterpart from Water, Sanitation and Irrigation, Cecily Kariuki, warned contractors against delays in completion of government projects. The two were speaking in Eldoret after inspecting the 1.4 billion shilling Cape Karen Dam that is meant to serve households in Nandi and Uasin Gishu counties.
As you know, what is before the Senate has become a tussle. And we want to urge our senators to do their constitutional duty to ensure that a fair and equitable formula is arrived at so that funds are released to the counties. Counties are struggling, as the Deputy Governor here would tell you, and they need the money. Na wanasema fahali wawili wakipigana ni nyazi ndio zinaumia.
We have seen projects being delayed because contractors have gotten the luxury of thinking they will get time extended. I think that time is over. That time is up. I have not shied away from telling contractors that the obligation for them to ensure that we complete projects on time so that the Kenyans can be able to benefit.
Meru Senator Mithika Linturi has slammed Senate Majority Whip Irungu Kenyatta over his fight for the current revenue sharing formula. Linturi accused Kenyatta of using the debate to divide Kenyans. Kenyatta is on the receiving end for allegedly saying that those opposing the formula are enemies of Mount Kenya.
Kujaribu kutumia nafasi ya kuwadanganya Wakenya wakubaliane. One vote is in the minds of a few politicians who want to take advantage of the other people of Kenya because they do not really realize, just like the many people will require money to provide the services in the hospitals. The sparsely populated counties in this country like Turkana, Kwale, Kilifi, Wajir, Samburu na wengine wanataka pesa mingi zaidi kuweza kufikisha huduma ya afya katika kule kwa watu wao. Kwa hivyo lazima tuelewane na tuweze kuheshimiana.
Now let's talk about the latest edition of NTV On The Road, and the NTV team is already in Tharaka Nithi for this weekend's county edition. Our reporters Kennedy Mureithi and Melita Oletenges are already on the road and join us for a sneak preview of what to expect. Kennedy Mureithi, I am told you are in Chuka. How is it around there?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Julians, there in Nairobi. The fresh air here in Chuka, Tharaka Nithi County is actually what we are enjoying at the moment, and the visit and the welcome has actually been one of a state of the art. And the people here are already happy, and the palpitation about NTV On The Road being here in this county can actually be seen and be heard. Already we've met people who are waiting for us. You had said that I am with Melita Oletenges, but already he has gone out to hit the road and get a number of stories that we'll be doing, because it's a weekend packed with activity, as we'll be looking into the various projects and effects that make Tharaka Nithi County. But we are here in Chuka town, one of the places and one of the development projects that has been done by the county government, and it's called the Automated Garage Empowering Our Youth, Tharaka Nithi County Government 2018-2019 financial year. And that is something that we will want to speak to some of the mechanics who operate from that particular one, just to hear what is it and how much has it changed their lives. And I'm here with their chairperson. Hello, habari gani na unaitwa nani, na hii project ambayo mko nayo hapa imewasaidia kivipi?
Mimi naitwa Dickson Baka, ndiye chairman wa Chuka Automated Garage. Imetusaidia sana hii project kwa sababu tangu tuanzizwe tumekuwa tukifanyia pale kazi wakati kuna mvua na wakati kwenye hakuna mvua. Imekuwa usaidizi mkubwa sana kwetu. Tunataka kushukuru governor wetu kwa sababu ya initiative. It has really helped us in various ways, because hata wakati wenye sio kufai sana kufanyia kazi, tunafanya tu kazi wakati kuna mvua, hata wakati kuna jua. Imekuwa sio jua kali sasa, imekuwa ni kama jua cool, kwa sababu pale tutafanya hata usiku kwa sababu kuna stima na pia kuna vyombo vya kufanyia kazi ambazo ni mzuri.
Tofauti ya saa hii ikiwa automated na saa zile haikuwa automated, tofauti ni nini kubwa?
Tofauti kubwa iliyoko hapa sasa ni wakati haikuwa automated, tulikuwa tunachapa gari jeki, tunaingia chini mahali kulikuwa na shida kubwa sana, kwa sababu mtu angeweza hata kuangukiwa na chuma akifanya kazi. Lakini kwa sasa hivi tunazo jeki ambazo ni za kisasa, tunachapa gari juu yote, tunatengeneza gari tukiwa tuna shida kabisa. Imekuwa mzuri sana.
Now, Julius, those are some of the views that are coming from, that is the chairman of the garage, but we'll be listening to many other views here in Tharaka Nithi County as we're just starting, and we'll be going to various projects that have been started by the county government, as we'll be looking to give the positive areas that Devolution has made an impact to the lives of people. Remember, in 2013, the story about Devolution was not so much there, and there was this narrative whereby the thinking was that all the resources were concentrated at the center, and it will make sure, or for you to access such resources, you will be asked which side of the political divide are you. But right now, some of the people in the county are saying that they do not have to be politically aligned for them to receive some of these goodies from the national government, as they do have their county governments. But right now, we are setting off and we'll be going to various parts of Tharaka Nithi County, because it is divided into the three constituencies, that is Tharaka constituency and Chuka Igambangombe constituency, and we'll be going to all these constituencies to get what has been done there, what are the views of the people, so that we may contextualize them in stories that we'll be doing from tomorrow all the way to Sunday, when we'll also have an interview with the governor. But right now, I hand it over to you, Julians, in Nairobi.
Many thanks, Kennedy Mureithi, who certainly is quite at home in Chuka and will be giving us more stories from that end. Elsewhere, President Uhuru Kenyatta has assured the global community of Kenya's commitment to fight terrorism, which he says has caused death and suffering in the region. The head of state says the country has the capacity to work with and lead other East African counter-terrorism efforts by working with regional governments and partners. President Uhuru Kenyatta has also reiterated that Kenya will leverage on its membership in the UN Security Council to contribute more to global peace and security. He was addressing a virtual meeting of the Aqaba process on COVID-19 convened by the King Abdullah II of Jordan.
Coupled with the globalization of terrorism and violent extremism, has posed an even greater threat to international peace and security. Several countries continue to experience protracted armed conflict, including from activities by non-state armed groups, as well as a marked humanitarian crisis, often with a significant trans-border and global dimension, as well as facing the ever-present threats of terrorism. There has also emerged an even greater need to safeguard vulnerable populations from recruitment in the midst of shifts in food insecurity, unemployment, the cyber environment, and education. As countries focus intensely in combating the pandemic, it has become increasingly vital to espouse a broader security paradigm to ensure that the focus on the pandemic is not creating room and avenues that belligerent actors can exploit to further outrageous agenda.
And on to some strange development in Nairobi. Officers attached to Mlolongo police station have this morning charged a 70-year-old woman who was nabbed Wednesday with bang estimated to have a street value of $500,000 shillings. The 500 rolls of bang stashed in 2 gunny bags were intercepted in a public vehicle at Mlolongo town by detectives acting on a tip-off.
Police officers mounted a roadblock at Mlolongo along the major Nairobi-Mombasa highway on Wednesday based on information of suspected contraband. Upon seizure, the suspected contraband was discovered to be bang with a $500,000 street value transported by a female suspect. Officers have told reporters that the bang, whose point of origin was Uganda, entered into the country via Busia border and was destined for Mlolongo township. The suspect, a 70-year-old woman, was taken into custody and has been arraigned in court. The arrest comes barely 5 months after another granny was nabbed transporting rolls of bang. According to Athi River Sub-County Police Commander Catherine Ringera, the arrest is a major breakthrough against a drug syndicate operating along Northern Corridor route. Police officers say that a gang of drug peddlers have been targeting teenagers who are now at home after the school calendar was interrupted by COVID-19 pandemic. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
Crossing over to the coast, ferry services at Mtongwe Crossing Channel have resumed after a year-long suspension. According to the Kenya Ferry Services, operations at the channel had been suspended in September 2019 to pave way for rehabilitation and repair works. Our coast reporter Kevin Mutai also reports that health services have been paralyzed in Tana River following a strike by health workers.
It's a reprieve for Mombasa residents operating between Mtongwe and Liwatoni after ferry services at the channel resumed. The ferry services had been suspended following a breakdown in some of the vessels, forcing Kenya Ferry Services to halt its operations for an overhaul. The resumption is expected to reduce congestion at the Likoni Crossing Channel, a move which commuters also say will help them cut on transportation costs.
Because of the numbers, we restrict that to one ferry, and we shall also restrict to the morning and the evening only, just to allow people to go to their workplaces.
Tunatarajia kwamba ile msongamano ambayo iko upande ule itapungua tena hata zaidi. Kwa hivyo kazi yetu kubwa ni kusupport Kenya Ferry in terms of maintain law and order na kuhakikisha kwamba watu wanafuata yale masharti ambayo yanapewa.
In Tana River County, residents have been left stranded and without medical services after health care workers downed their tools due to an ongoing impasse with the executive over payment of salaries and allowances. The ongoing strike has paralyzed health services at Hola Level 4 Hospital, as most of the facilities remain deserted. Some of the patients among them pregnant women, have been forced to seek services from local midwives or private facilities to deliver their babies.
Sisi zote ambao wakaji Tana River ya Hola, shida ya kubwa ambao haifai binadamu ndio tuko nayo.
Hivi asubuhi tukiingia tumepatana na mgonjwa anatolewa na gari ya kubeba mgonjwa mahututi kumwelekeza Malindi. Sababu ya nini? Hapa hakuna vifaa ambayo muuguzi anaweza hudumia naye mgonjwa wa Tana River.
In Kilifi County, the numbers of needy families in Ganze are on the rise and facing starvation. Hundreds of residents are still depending on well-wishers for food. They claim their situation has worsened due to coronavirus. Kevin Mutai, NTV, Mombasa.
And that report by Kevin Mutai takes us to a short break. NTV at ONE.
Wow! Indomie, now available in chicken, beef, and Supermojo. Giamini.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Pants is just for me. It really feels very comfy.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
Welcome back to NTV at ONE. Now, leaders in Limuru are calling on the government to offer courses to the Kazim Tani program beneficiaries in order to improve their lives when the program comes to an end. Led by Limuru MP Peter Mwathi, they say that the program should also be extended to other parts of the country so that more young men can benefit from the initiative. Mwathi was speaking at the Limuru Model Primary School, where he met 75 recipients of Uwezo Fund checks.
Pesa ambao ni ya Youth Enterprise Development Fund ambao saizi kidogo imeenda chini, rais aweze kutuongezea pesa hapo ili wao wakimaliza Januari kazi mtaani, kwa sababu hawatarudi kazi tu mara moja ati kwa sababu corona imeisha ama kazi mtaani imeisha, watawachwa hohehahe. Na ndio wanatakiwa kama hizo pesa zikitengwa saizi na wafundishwe kufanya biashara, ikifika wakati huo watakuwa hata wameanza kujaza vile watachukua pesa kama hizi za Uwezo.
And staying with the youth, a second-year student at Eldoret Polytechnic has invented a one-of-its-kind hand-washing machine. The students say that the machine uses sensors to open the tap, which keeps the process sanitary.
They say necessity is the mother of invention, and the COVID-19 pandemic has produced quite a number of inventions and innovations. The need to keep hands clean at all times is now a matter of life or death.
Ukiguza mfereji hiyo, unaacha uchafu wako hapo, hata ukiuga mkono bado utaufunga, uchukue uchafu huo tena uende nao.
It is with this in mind that Duncan Mathenge, aged 21, assembled a hand-washing machine. Mathenge says his innovation is different from others.
Iko na microcomputer ndani, microprocessors, iko programmed, na iko na sensors. Ukiweka mkono chini, ina sense mkono na maji inatoka. Na nimetengeneza hii mashini kusaidia nchi yetu, especially Busia County, maana Busia County iko kwa border.
With the country grappling with job losses, Mathenge has urged the government to support innovators in order to eradicate unemployment and better livelihoods. Nayoma Sampao, NTV.
Hats off to Duncan Mathenge on that innovation. Elsewhere, a 25-year-old long dispute over the controversial 420-acre farm in Kamiti, Kiambu County continues as different parts of squatter groups and the Kenya Forest Service claim ownership. The squatters claim they were allocated the land by the late President Daniel Arap Moi in 1994, but the process was hijacked by corrupt government officials who have sold off the land to private developers. One of the groups which claims to be the original beneficiaries of the allocation now wants the government to intervene in and hand the land back to the rightful beneficiaries. In the past, the Ministry of Lands has maintained that the parcel remains government land as it was never de-gazetted.
Ujumbe ule ningesema kwa serikali kuu ni kwamba tunadhibitisho shamba iliachiliwa tupewe, lakini imefunikiwa na wale matajiri kupitia pesa sawa. Kwa hivyo tungeomba serikali ya Uhuru ijue kuna shamba iliachiliwa na mbunge ipewe maskwata wa kamiti anima bloko 2 plot 8390. Kwa hivyo tungeomba hiyo shamba ahakikishe matajiri wameondolewa, tumepewa sisi squatters wale ambaye tulifyeka hiyo shamba na mikono yetu.
And in Nairobi, a family from Umoja Estate, Nairobi, is searching for their missing 13-year-old daughter. Monica Atieno Koko, who is a Class 7 pupil at Gates Academy in Migori County, went missing on the 9th of June between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. in Nairobi's Central Business District. Anyone with information regarding her whereabouts can report to the nearest police station or contact her family on 0743 569 059. On the international scene, the South African Auditor General has released his first report on corruption relating to the COVID-19 relief funds. Kimi Makwetu's findings relate to billions worth of rand and a slew of allegations on mismanagement of the inflated PPE tenders. Employment and Labour Minister Thusan Kesi also gave details of the corruption relating to the country's unemployment fund.
An opportunity for fraudulent behavior arises when the disciplines of internal control have been weakened. In this case, that's what we have observed. That when there were fewer people who are able to monitor and supervise transactions, others who know best take the opportunity.
This has resulted in illegal payments, amongst others, to recipients of the state grants, students receiving NSFAS payments, public servants, and even UIF employees, and even inmates, deceased persons, and minors. There is also evidence of overpayments and underpayments as well as inflated claims.
Let's get into some sporting action. Brazil's Football Federation announced on Wednesday it will pay men and women the same amount for representing the national team, one of the few countries to make such a pledge. It means Brazil's little-known female players such as Marta, Formiga and Leticia will receive the same fees and allowances as global superstars such as Neymar, Gabriel and Roberto Firmino. Australia, Norway and New Zealand are among the nations that previously decided to pay their men and women internationals the same amount. In March 2019, the U.S. women's team and the current world champions sued their federation alleging discrimination over pay and conditions. The highest paid players in women's games earn six-figure salaries, while male players such as Barcelona's Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo of Juventus take home sums more than 100 times larger. Quite some income disparity there. Elsewhere, George Messi, father and agent of Lionel Messi, thinks it will be quote-unquote difficult for his son to stay at Barcelona. Messi Sr. landed in Barcelona on Wednesday for talks with the club's president, Josep Maria Bartomeu, about the striker's intention to leave this summer. Messi Sr. flew into Argentina's city of Rosario, landing at the private terminal in Barcelona's El Prat airport on Wednesday morning. Asked by the reporters about the possibility of Messi staying, George Messi said difficult. The 33-year-old striker boycotted Barcelona's first pre-season training session on Monday, and as he tries to force his way out of the club, he joined as a 13-year-old. Messi also failed to attend a coronavirus test at Barcelona's training ground on Sunday. Barcelona insists their captain will only depart if his €700 million release clause is activated, a stance that has been backed up by La Liga. Abu Dhabi-owned Manchester City are the firm favourites to sign Messi, not least because of his previous success at the City coach Pep Guardiola. Inter Milan, Juventus and PSG are also interested.
Voilà.
PSG forward Neymar, the world's most expensive football player, has reportedly tested positive for coronavirus. The 28-year-old Brazilian has COVID-19 as well as his Argentine teammates Angel Di Maria and Leonardo Paredes. The French domestic season is already underway, but PSG are yet to play because of their run to the Champions League final. PSG were due to face Lens in their French 2020-21 top flight opener just 6 days after their 1-0 loss to Bayern in the Champions League final. The game will now be played after the international break, giving them 12 days to prepare for the beginning of the campaign. The second edition of UEFA's newest national team competition begins this week as the 2014 World Cup champions Germany plays Spain tonight in a Group A4 match. German manager Joachim Low has said that his players will struggle against Spain after leaving out most of his players who won the Champions League with Bayern Munich 10 days ago. Spain manager Luis Enrique has similar concerns with his squad, confirming that Wolves winger Adama Traore will miss out but could be fit to face Ukraine on Sunday. The match is in Enrique's first charge of his second spell, 10 months after returning to the job. In other matches, Finland will take on Wales in Group B4 match at Helsinki Olympic Stadium. And that takes us to the close of NTV at 1. Enjoy the rest of your viewing and have a delightful afternoon.